So hello and welcome to another episode of Things Forward today, and today is a little bit of an update video, which I kind of like to do that once a month, talk about all the cars, what's happening to them, what I've been doing with them. Obviously certain stuff that I do I don't always make into a video, so I suppose we'll get cracking on with it. And the big news is that I've actually sold my new SLK, so that's no longer with me. I no longer own that car. Obviously I paid an amount of money for it. I haven't just taken the car and won, but I basically sold it via Carwow. In the end they offered me a good amount of money as an estimate of what I could get to it for it, and I think it came about £50 below what I actually wanted for the car as a sort of minimum. So I kind of thought, well, that's the figure I want. If they gave me that figure, I'd have it, and it was 50 quid below, so I ended up taking it. They collected it all from me. They paid for all the transport costs, and I haven't had to pay any fees on that amount they've given me as well. So yeah, really good service actually. I recommend. It took about 10 days to get it all solved, or sold rather, from the point of me actually listing it with them to actually the dealer picking it up and paying me the money. So a little bit of time there, which it's all right. I didn't have to physically do anything though to do it. So yeah, that's gone. It's sold. I'm anyway, slightly relieved. I think that I'm in two minds about it. I'm slightly relieved that it's gone. On the day the bloke came to collect it, the door handle on the outside was working intermittently, possibly due to the fact that the door kind of actually coming away from the door itself a little bit. So I think there's obviously something there. It just probably needs pushing back and fixing back into place. So that was a bit of a worry. So they seemed happy with the car. I didn't mention anything about that anyway. I'd imagine that they're going to obviously put it for their workshop. It's been sold to a Mercedes dealer, so they're probably going to put it for their workshop. So and they'll sort it all out there anyway. That's their problem. Not worried about it now. They've had the car. It's their problem now. If anything else goes wrong, that's up to them. So yeah, I'm slightly glad that I've sold it. It was due an MOT and a service in September time. So that would have been another few £100 worth of cost. Plus getting things sorted, and plus the windscreen issue, which okay wasn't the car's fault, but it was still away for 3 days. And Autocast, bless them, were doing their best. It wasn't, I don't blame anybody, it's not anybody's fault. I think Autocast were doing their best, but it was one of those where yeah, so it was getting to be a little bit of palaver, that car, and I've fallen out of love with it over the last sort of year or so, really. And I think that was sort of the final nail in the coffin when I came out and sat that roof tile lying next to the car. I was like, oh no, another headache. I'm slightly glad that I've got so many good memories though. I've had that car for 6 years. As long as they've actually owned a car, I'm hoping I might sort of own this one maybe that long, or maybe hopefully longer actually. We'll come on to this car in a little bit. But yeah, as long as car I've owned, I've had so many fond memories, done lots of mileage in that car, and I look back, and you can also look back rose tinted glasses and say, well, it's lovely to have kept it, but I just wasn't using that SLK that much. It just wasn't getting the mileage put on it. And so these issues that have happened with the timing change shouldn't have gone. That's a whole different topic for another day. With the windscreen, it just really, I thought, if I could keep that car and it wouldn't have anything wrong with it and just service the MOT every year, it'd be fine. But there seems to be other stuff happening with that car, and things that's going wrong shouldn't go wrong. And maybe it was partly due to the fact that it was just parked up not doing anything. But anyway, we're going to that whole different episode, so I wrote to that. So yeah, anyway, long and short of it is that it's gone, it's sold. I was happy with the price that I got for the car. I didn't have to do anything extra. I took a few pictures, put it on their website. I did sort of describe it fairly as well. I pointed out any sort of major damage on it, not that there was that much anyway. Mostly little bits of scratches and dents, and little bits that it's picked up over time. It is obviously a 13-year-old car, and that's what I said to them. It is a 13-year-old car. Okay, it's low mileage, but it's not a perfect example. It's not a concours example, and I don't keep any of my cars to a concours example, which again I've spoken about previously. So we'll move on to this car. It seems appropriate. So this is still here at the moment. The big news this month, I've actually solved the brakes issue on this. You might have seen the video that I did previously. I took it down to have service and MOT, and that was absolutely fine. Passed the MOT, no advices, thank you very much. It's amazing for a car. It cost me £500 that it's got through an MOT. Second MOT now it's got through. Last year, a couple of advices really got sorted. One was for tyres, and another one was for a little bit worse than the brake pads. That was all sorted out. And the brake pipes, sorry, not brake pads, but a bit worse than the brake pipes. This is where I'm getting confused now, because this year we've had to, I booked it in for the service and MOT. They had a go at taking apart the brakes, putting some copper grease on there, That didn't make a difference. So they sort of spoke to me at the end of the day and said, well, what do you want to do with it, basically? And I said, I'll go out a little thing. So we agreed on putting new disc and pads on it, and they did that, and it solved the issue. So it was about just shy of £300, about £280 it was, for new disc and pads on the rear. But it now doesn't squeak. So I'm sort of, yeah, went out the other night. Oh, look, it doesn't squeak. It doesn't make noises. Oh, good. I was getting quite excited about it because ever since I've had this car, it's always a bit squeaky brakes, and it's only seems to be getting worse. So I'm glad that issue. So that's the main thing with this car, anyway. Um, Went out on Wednesday night with it, just for a little drive around the local area, stopped off at a pub, and it was just lovely. I had the roof down, and this is one of the reasons why I've sold my other SLKs. I absolutely love this car. I've fallen in love with it. When I bought it, it was like £500. I think its future as me was a little bit in the balance. I didn't quite know what I was going to do. Once I'd actually sort of done it up, and there's still a few things I need to do to it, which we're going to probably try and crack on with next sort of month or so, as you get sort of a line draw underneath this. And I absolutely fall in love with it. And when I started using it last summer, I just absolutely love this car, and that's say one of the reasons why I sold my other SLK. Because actually, I just love this, and it's 105,000 mile now. It's not a perfect example, and I'm not afraid to use it. On the flip side of that, I don't mind that it's got a few lumps and bumps. It tells the story of the car, and I'm not afraid to use the car. So it's certainly going to get a few more thousand miles put on there. I think I've only done about sort of 1,500 to 2,000 miles since I bought the car. So not as like it doesn't get a lot of use. I haven't used it this year that much. I'm going to try and, we're already in August now, so I'm going to try and get a little bit of an update. To try and use it a little bit more. I'll give you an update at the end of the year. The other big thing you'll have seen is that this car is getting new alloys. Now, I've actually been slightly clever here because I've sort of been thinking of a way recently of trying to elevate this car a little bit more, make it look different, make it stand out a little bit more. And one of the things that I came up with was obviously alloys. So you might have seen my video. I've bought these lovely original Mercedes, genuine Mercedes. Actually, they produced them as an option extra, free spoke alloys. So I know that the tyres on this car will fit the alloys that I've bought. So the tyres, as you will have seen, are 20 years old, bar one, which is I think 16 years old. So they'll be able to swap them over. So I'm going to take them to the refurbishers, get them refurbished, and then I'll take this car in and I'll get them refurbished as well and get them to swap the tyres over, and hope they'll dispose of the tyres for me on the wheels that I've got. This risk gets slightly confusing to have two sets of wheels. So yes, I'm going to do that, and that's sort of it really for this car. Just put the wheels on there, a few little bits I'm going to do, and hopefully that will be sort of the end of this little project. I can just focus really and just 100% just enjoying it and dealing with any other issue that might crop up going along with it. So the SL, still not back with me. It was meant to come back. I think they messaged me, emailed last week to say that they'd done all the issues, sorted it all out, fantastic, took it for its final little test drive to make sure everything's okay, and they found a new problem. So I'm a bit like, oh, okay, so that's, they're going to look into it. They said they don't actually manufacture the part for that anymore, that they suspect it might be. So they're going to have a go, see if they can tidy up the problem, the part problem, and just see if they can get it going again and make sure it's still fine. And the basic issue is, before when I dropped it to them, I said it was stalling when it was warm, and when I was doing the drive, you come to stop at a junction or pull up in the engine car. Now it's deciding when they're manoeuvring it around and it's cold, it's actually stalling. So they've said when they get its temperature, it's fine. It's just actually now when it's cold and they're manoeuvring it around their site, it keeps cutting out. So it's like the opposite now. What's going on? So I was like, oh, okay. So that's, I have to admit, as with all classic cars, I think be spending a little bit more money than I necessarily wanted to on that car, but I'm looking forward to getting that back now. I feel quite happy that I've got back down to 3 cars. After having 4, plus I look after my partner's C-Class as well, make sure I get serviced, MOT'd, make sure all the tyres and everything on there are all good. So I sort of ended up looking after 5 cars, and after I found it 1 car too many, really. So I'm glad to come back down to sort of 3 cars myself, plus I look after my partners as 4 technically, even though I don't drive the C-Class that often. But yes, I'm really happy about that. So it's all sort of worked out in a well-rounded way. I'm not planning on buying another car at the moment. Talking about being down to 3 cars, I'm not planning on one. But then again, I never planned to buy this car, so watch this space. I don't plan on doing it, but sometimes you do get given a good opportunity you just can't say no to. Obviously, at the moment, I only have this and I have the B class. The B class, nothing much to report. Very happy with what it does this on a daily basis. When I went to pick up the wheels, I had quite a heavy use day, I call it. And it went down, took my dogs to the groomers, then came back in, then I had to go and collect them again. Then it went up to Telford to collect the wheels, and it was so great because I just do anything. I can chuck anything at the B class, and it will just do it with ease. So that's it for this episode of Seasons 4 Wheels. Just a little bit of a sit down chat update video, really. Just feeding to a few things that I've done recently and some stuff that don't necessarily warrant their own video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. As ever, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.